Yeah, in the last lecture of this chapter, Healthy Me and Near Me, we had done till impaired function. So today we will start with the perspective of abnormal behavior. Various perspectives are there in the society for abnormal behavior. Okay, criteria we had done. Now we are going to look at the perspective, various perspective of abnormal behavior. Okay, abnormal normal behavior everyone know. Abnormal, what are the perspectives are there? Okay, so there are primarily total 7 psychological perspective of abnormal behavior. So total there are 7 perspective are there of abnormal behavior. Apart from that, the stress diagnosis model and biopsychosocial model are also considered. The seven perspective are as follows. So they are saying that perspective, there are total 7 perspective are there for abnormal behavior. Okay, let's start with the first one. Biological perspective. What is biological perspective? This perspective focuses on biological and physiological factor. Okay, so this perspective is focuses on biological and physiological factor as cause of abnormal behavior. Okay, so the first perspective, biology means body. Okay, this perspective focuses on biological plus physiological factor of cause of abnormal behavior. So this perspective believes that the abnormal behavior of a person is actually happen because of biological changes, physiological changes. That's why the person is behaving abnormally. Abnormal behavior is treated as a disease. Abnormal behavior is treated as a disease or mental illness and is diagnosed through symptoms. So this behavior is treated as it is if it is considered as biological. If the doctors are said okay, that person is behaving abnormally because of physiological or biological changes, so then abnormal behavior will be treated as a disease and or mental illness, and it is diagnosed through symptoms and cured through treatment. Hospitalization and drugs are often preferred methods of treatment rather than psychological intervention. So here, uh, if you see if a person is behaving abnormally because of accident, because of biological problems, physiological changes, so it could be treated as a body related treatment like giving medicines and all. And thus in case of Samir, psychiatrist with the biological perspective might say that his abnormality because of chemical imbalance in the brain may prescribe him medicine. Okay, may prescribe him. I didn't read this case, but you need to just keep in mind that uh, you just need to keep in mind biological perspective or those perspective whenever abnormal behavior, a person is having abnormal behavior because of physiological changes, because of chemical changes in the brain, or any kind of accident happen, so that's why the person is behaving inappropriately. So that person will be diagnosed with the treatment of diagnosis or medicine. Medication will be start or begin. Second perspective, we are just focusing on the perspective why the person is behaving in an abnormal way, because of which perspective. Then socio-culture perspective. Okay, socio-culture perspective. Abnormal behavior is learned within a social context. Okay, socio means related to society. Biological we are done. Now societal perspective. So abnormal behavior is learned within a social context which ranges from family, friends and society. So this abnormal behavior is actually learned through society only, in your family, with your friends or society. Culture aspects are acquired through learning. Culture aspects are acquired through learning about particular social norms which are believed to be important in producing abnormal behavior. Example: anor- anorexia nervosa and bulimia are found mostly in Western culture, where they give are more importance in thin female body. Okay, so here, if I say there are some abnormal behaviors which are learned by a person. Any person are learn abnormal behavior in society only. How? They will learn with your family, they will learn with friends in society. So they are giving example that in United States of America, in USA, in foreign country, anor- anorexia nervosa is a one kind of abnormal behavior. Here people are giving more importance to thin body of the female. Okay, so this is abnormal behavior which are learned in the society. Okay, so the first perspective biological, second is the sociological perspective, third one behavioral perspective. Behavior, they believe that abnormal behavior is developed from ineffective learning and condition. So in behavioral perspective, uh, so psychologists believe that a person is not behaving properly in a society. A person is having abnormal behavior that person because that person is not learned in an effective way. The conditioning doesn't happen properly. So treatment are designed to reshape the maladaptive behavior with the help of principle of reinforcement and punishment. So so here, if I from the behavior perspective, they will look at the behavior. Okay, psychologists believe that a person is adapting a certain abnormal behavior because there is a ineffective learning and conditioning happen, and that could be treated with the help of reinforcement and punishment. There are two types of reinforcement: positive and negative, and punishments are there. With the help of this, they are going to be treat the behavior which is abnormal. Okay, now fourth one, evolutionary perspective. Evolutionary perspective. But first of all, we need to understand what is evolutionary. Evolution means evolve. Okay, from evolutionary perspective. So evolve means over a certain period of time this behavior is occur. A central claim of evolutionary perspective is that the brain evolved to solve problem. The brain evolved to solve problem encountered by our ancestor. The perspective suggests that this mental process, these mental processes exist to exist to serve an evolutionary purpose, survival and reproduction. So they are saying that evolutionary perspective was what? A central claim of evolutionary perspective is that the brain is evolved to solve problem encountered by our ancestor, and this perspective suggests that this mental process exists to serve evolutionary purpose. So they are saying that from the evolution point of view, they are saying that uh, whatever behavior presently we have, it is our behavior is totally based on our uh, past past people. So it is evolved. So from the evolutionary perspective, they are mostly looking why the person is behaving abnormal uh, because a person this such type of behavior is occurred in the past. So that's why the person is behaving in a way. Okay. Now fifth one. Fifth one is humanistic perspective. Clear? So basically we are just doing a perspective of a of normal behavior. There are various perspectives out there of we can study abnormal behavior from a various perspective. So four perspective we had done, and then humanistic perspective. Human. Those who believe in humanistic perspective focuses on the ways that human beings are driven to grow, change, and develop on their fullest possible and potential. So from the humanistic perspective, we are going to understand why the particular person is behaving abnormally from the human point of view. And humans are actually there in this world to grow themselves, to change themselves, to develop themselves to fullest possible potential. Sixth one, psychoanalytic and psychodynamic perspective. Psychoanalytic and psychodynamic perspective. What is this? The view of psychology emphasizes, and this view of psychology emphasizes the role of the unconscious mind. Psychoanalytic and psychodynamic perspective. This view of psychology emphasizes the role of the unconscious mind. Unconscious mind, early childhood experience, and interpersonal relationship to explain human behavior and to treat people displaying abnormal behavior with the help of this information. So here what they are saying that psychoanalytic and psychodynamic perspective. So with the help of psychoanalytic and psychodynamic perspective is also angle to see the abnormal behavior, and this view of psychology emphasizes the role of mind, unconscious mind, early childhood experience, interpersonal relationship. So they are focusing on this thing to try to analyze why the people are behaving in a way. Okay, why the people are behaving in that way. Clear? Okay. So here, from this perspective, they are focusing on mind, interpersonal relationship, and many more. So these are the problem they are looking at. Okay. Now, it holds that psychological disorder are the consequence of anxiety produced by unresolved. So they said that the psychological disorders are the consequences of anxiety produced by unresolved unconscious conflict. So they are saying that the people are behaving abnormally because it is actually this behavior are developed by anxiety, unresolved uh, unconscious conflict. Treatment are focusing on the identification and resolution of this conflict. Okay. Next is, it emphasizes the role of unconscious mind. So they focuses the role of unconscious mind and conflict that can be traced back to the childhood. Okay. So here they are focusing that they here from this perspective, psychoanalytic perspective, they focuses on unconscious mind. What is the person unconscious? Conscious means what you know right now where you are. Unconscious means what you don't know, what is going inside. Conflicts that can be traced back to the childhood, and according to the Freud, unconscious motives and conflicts have base primitive sexual and aggressive instincts. So and the Sigmund Freud also said that the unconscious motives and conflicts have a base of primitive sexual and aggressive instincts. Cognitive perspective. So seventh perspective is nothing but cognitive one. According to this perspective, people engage in abnormal behavior because of their recurrent maladaptive thoughts and behavior that are often based on upon their false assumption. So from this perspective, they are saying that people are actually actually behaving in abnormal behavior because their thoughts, uh, because of their maladjustment thoughts behavior that are often based upon the false assumption. So treatment involves maladjustment individual to adapt a new thinking process. Therapy is a process of unlearning maladaptive thinking and replacing attitude. So they are saying that in the cognitive perspective, they are focusing why the person is behaving abnormally because of their uh, negative thinking, abnormal thinking, maladaptive thoughts and action. So here the therapy and treatment is totally based on to give a proper treatment so they can change their thinking. Okay. And this area of psychology focuses on mental process such as memory, thinking, problem solving, language and decision making. Okay, perspective of abnormal behavior we had done now. So I want to tell you that is as simply just now we had done the 7 perspective of abnormal behavior and why this perspective is very important when a person is behaving abnormally. Total there are 7 perspective to study that and to treat that person. You cannot say that the person is behaving because he is having accident. No, there are perspectives are there and certain perspective helps to make you understand like what kind of treatment you need to do to that person. And then stress that is his model. Okay, so thanks for listening. In the next lecture I'm going to teach you that